Hello, warriors. Wake up.
Welcome.
Warrior Wednesday with Dr. Diane and
Dr. Jack.
Just a little ditty about us.
Jack and Diane.
Two American kids trying to figure out what the hell is going on in America.
Have fun with that. I'm not figuring that out.
That's what this show is all about. So actually today, we're going to skip the intro, you guys, because we only have 30 minutes, and apologies for starting a little bit late. We have been testing out different microphones and having a hell of a time. You should see all the wires around us right now. So we're trying to sound clearer in many ways for you guys. So today is September 25th. We are in the middle of a lot of different things happening in the sky, cosmically, energetically, spiritually, politically, chemically. And we're here to kind of talk about, today's going to be a little bit vulnerable. For me anyway. Dr. Jack may have to hold me while I sob. I don't know what's going to happen, but the title of today's episode, go ahead, honey.
Yeah. Let's get up close and personal, my warriors. I can't believe I'm really going under the knife again.
There it is. And then we're going to talk about my personal detox protocol, meaning the both of ours. We get a lot of questions from patients that we're working with, as well as people who are in our VIP mastermind group. Yeah. We've got close to 200 people in there right now. It's amazing. It's the tribe that I guess you would say that if I could ever dream of having a group of people that really want to come together and grow and learn and support each other and to seek and to heal, self-heal, to avoid going to the kill centers, which are known as hospitals, that otherwise are known as healthcare. What would you call it?
I don't want to be there. I care.
That
scares me.
Get over here.
It makes me very nervous.
Yeah, me too. How about we call it hellcare? But it is. I say something happened to me. I do not want to go. I do not want to go to these facilities. It is where people go to die. And in fact, we're going to talk about death today, and it's something that I don't want to shy away from. So here are the topics for today. Surgery. I'm going under the knife again, and I'll share why and what. And I have a lot of people who have been asking me about this protocol and why I'm doing it. And this is really the purpose behind me being a doctor. So I'll share a little bit about that.
Menopause.
And hopefully it'll help many of you. And menopause at age, Jack's going through menopause at age 45.
Menopause.
I think we all do. I think there is a menopause thing, right?
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, a lot of people do.
And
they lose their mojo.
Yeah, they lose their manjo.
Manjos.
And, to be fair, also, there's so much friction going around right now. If you look at politics, you can see polytick, right? Like politic.
Yeah.
Like what are ticks in somebody's body? What do they do?
Oof, nasty. They're nasty critters.
What do they cause that you see so many patients?
Lyme, all the co-infections, Bartonella, Ehrlichia, all that kind of fun stuff.
The
Rickettsia, Babesia.
All the things that we find in every single patient that we work with. And Dr. Jack pulls this out and creates priorities of, then people are like, well, I've never been bit by a tick. We're like, well, yes, you have. You've watched TV and seen the debate. So you've been bit by a tick, telepathically and electromagnetically. So politics right now, if you look at the divide between everything, black, white, man, woman, child, parent, everything is being demolished. And in fact, 2 episodes ago, was it? We were talking about connection. The things that disconnect us. And right now, to be fair, with all of the things that are happening in the air, we are seeing men and women going at it. Lots of divorce, lots of relationship battles. Jack and I have been triggering the hell out of each other. But I think that is an invitation, an inspiration for an invocation of true healing. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Can you?
I feel it all the time. I'm feeling it. My nads are holding this up right now, just so you guys know. My nads. These are my,
Tell them
my
what it
underwear.
is.
Nads. See, I wasn't lying.
Yeah.
I don't know. I found these underwear. I needed new ones that were supposed to be non-toxic for your nads.
I
So
saw
I'm trying
them.
not to go through menopause. I don't want to go through menopause already. I'm getting there, I'm sure.
Shit,
I'll be 48
you
in
were
a couple.
in it.
Yeah, you're right. Probably.
You're in it. You're being mean to me. I'm being mean to you. A lot of people are being mean to each other. Okay. So we're bringing it honestly today. I saw these when I came back from my trip and I was like, oh, he's cheating on me. He's got new underwear. Just kidding. I mean, but I think that is very important. What makes these so non-toxic?
They're nads. They're nads. I don't remember. I bought them like a month ago.
They're like
they're like non-toxic underwear for males.
Like
I don't think they have them for
non-polyester.
girls. Yeah, all that stuff. It's all clean. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, but it's important to not have polyester on your most important family jewels because those are the things that actually cause cancer because your body is soaking all of these plastics in and microplastics. You know,
especially with a male prostate, anything around the prostate. I mean, it's a sac. It gets so many infections. It's really hard to treat. People are going through it constantly.
I even was talking to somebody the other day and he said, you know, I'm pretty embarrassed to talk about this. I didn't know back then what I know now, but he said, I got prostate cancer and I had him cut it out.
Oh.
So there's a lot of people that I know. In fact, one of my personal friends just died. I've actually had 3 friends die in the last week. And it's been like one of those, whoa, you know, that's kind of part of the inspiration for this episode is that like death can knock at your door any moment. This one guy that I know who died, he had one enlarged prostate because he had issues with his, and just now recently found out, didn't tell you this, I just found out yesterday that he had been popping pills like to enhance his life. You know, people are so stressed and depressed and suppressing all of these, you know, emotions. And, you know, really anger is not the issue. It's fear and shame that comes out as anger and rage. So I think it's time that we all realize that there is no such thing as Satan out there. There only is repressed energy that has never been expressed or healed in here. So we can stop this crazy external building of the matrix when we get in contact with our inner parts that are seeking to be held and to be loved and to be accepted and to be integrated and actually turned into gold. So can you turn your fear and shame into gold? The answer is yes. The answer is absolutely yes. And this is all of our inner work to turn toward like a warrior, as opposed to protect and deflect like a warrior. There's no reason to have a shield up anymore. You know, there's some other things we're going to talk about today too. We're going to answer some questions about parasite protocols because we have a patient right now who has asked, and we'll be answering more of this. Again, if you guys want to join us in the VIP group, this is where we all have all the vulnerable conversations and people get tons of benefits. DianeCager.com/VIP. You get both Dr. Jack and myself every week for an hour. So right after this podcast, join us. You can join in there right now for $1. Right after the show, you can join us in there. Once you click join for $1, then you'll get the link sent to you over email and you'll know exactly how to join us on Zoom with the password and everything. So we have always a lot to cover. We're going to do our best to cover as much as we can today. And then for anything that we haven't had time to, we're going to bring into the VIP group where we start our education and then we open up the floor for you to ask any questions. So imagine that you have 2 doctors here who love you, who want to really help you, help yourself, and who are not going to gaslight you, tell you it's all in your head, or it's just genetic, or your blood tests are fine, or just take this pill, or cut out this organ, or, you know, cut your prostate out.
A lot of people are losing organs. I had a patient recently who's missing 3 organs. They took
3?
them out. 3.
Which ones?
The appendix, gallbladder, and then they took out part of her thyroid.
And what did they say? Why?
It was all different reasons. But I mean, she's left with a mess. It's sad. I mean, it's really, really, really sad. Her quality of life.
What is her quality of life like now?
Not good.
When she comes in to see you, what are her symptoms?
Well, she came in for low energy, digestive issues, brain fog, fatigue, weight gain.
My God. And
Yep.
people think that,
And very highly medicated now.
oh,
So,
right.
it's very hard to undo those things
I know.
because you have to almost replace meds with supplements, and a lot of people don't, because what are you going to do when you're missing part of your digestion and your
Yeah.
thyroid and all that kind of stuff? So
Yeah. So, I mean, they take your thyroid out.
It's a difficult thing.
And they're like, "Oh, here's some Synthroid to replace it."
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that really pisses me off is they take out your gallbladder and say, "Oh, it's infected." But like, how about we just clear the infection or the things that are congesting it? Like that's what we do.
Yep.
We help save organs. And
Do a coffee enema, a liver cleanse,
lots of them.
gallbladder detox.
Yeah, we
stuff.
teach all of that in the VIP group.
And that's something you got to do regularly.
Regularly. And that's actually part of what we're going to talk about today. And I think we'll end with that, babe. We'll end with that topic, and then we'll go into the VIP group and continue on with that schedule. Because we need to live in harmony with parasites, not think that it's about killing them all. We need to live in harmony with our symptoms and realize that they're just simply messengers.
Mm-hmm.
Your body doesn't hate you. Your body actually loves you. God does not make junk. God did not make organs to be removed. God made organs to help remove the toxins, the poisons, the parasites, the pathogens that are killing you, the ones that are all around us. We're basically living in an ashtray right now. We are living in the polarities of heaven and hell at once, and we get to decide what to do with it. I imagine, and my empathy hat goes on to people who, have organs removed, because the doctors kind of fear you into, well, we have to remove this organ to save your life. But then what does it do?
Well, it's going to make it worse depending on what organ.
It takes away your quality of life.
It takes yeah. I mean, your thyroid. Oof. I mean, I've dealt with thyroid issues for, oh God, it's been 18 years. And yeah. I mean, I've had several different diagnoses on my thyroid, from my thyroid.
Yeah.
And Hashimoto's one day, hypo the next. Always back and forth, and these types of things.
Yeah.
It's just typically it's toxins. And, the world it does have a toxic burden with all the stress and, families, everybody working, and, there's not that structure anymore. Everybody knows all the stress of nowadays.
Yeah.
And we're walking around with our cell phones all the time. It looks like a movie.
Yeah.
And, kids are working. I was watching, I drove into work, and there was the garbage guys picking up stuff, and they both had ear pods in. They weren't talking to each other. They were, listening to music. So, I mean, this is in their brain radiating. So we are living in a matrix, and there is a control factor, whether Apple, I don't think Apple set it up to screw people's brains up and give them cancer. But on the same point, it's all contributing to all these different things. And that's why people have such bad parasite infections. Our immune system should be strong enough to kill them.
Yes.
Do I still get parasites? Yes.
Me too. I think I got some on this trip.
Yeah. Do I take tons of supplements? Yes. Do I sauna, and do I exercise every day? Yeah. Or I'd be a mess.
And rife.
And it was fun eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually
So, okay, you guys, I want to get into some of this stuff that, it's been a really challenging couple of weeks for me personally. When you hear somebody is on their deathbed, and that it's the end of their life, something changes in you. And I realized that my grandmother being sent to memory care meant that it's only a matter of days. And you guys, she's 95. She's had a great life, and she's also had a tormented, traumatized life. And that's what I want to talk about today, because my parents said to me, you do not want to go see her. She's in a horrible condition. She might be angry at you. She might hiss at you. She might tell you that you're raping her. I mean, she's not herself anymore. She's been jabbed multiple times. She's been programmed by the television. She is all hail Biden. I mean, these elders have been the original child trafficked. Their innocence has been stolen from them since birth. From all of these different agendas, from the Depression era to now, this is the last era of those elders that started with being rationed, like
Mhm.
given ration, being in bread lines and living through lack and wondering if they were even going to have a dime for their next bite. They've carried this depression, they've carried this anxiety, they've carried these fears for so long, and now they're starting to die off. So for me, when I went to go say goodbye to her, it wasn't about me. I went there to help her set her soul free in whatever way that I could. And yes, let's share the picture of my grandmother. There's a couple different pictures I want you guys to see. You know, I don't know if you could zoom in on that, Paula. There's a couple pictures that I want to share today. But I mean, like, look at the expression on her face. We have so many people that we're losing overnight or to old age. It just makes you question, what is this life? And you can see on her face the expressions, the emotions, the energies, the beliefs that she still has and carries, the repressed emotions and anger and rage and mistrust and grudges that she's going to die with these inside of her. And I hate that for humanity. And I wanted to talk about something that both Jack and I are big believers in, which is
Ho'oponopono.
Ho'oponopono.
Yeah.
And I want to share how that helped her when I was holding her hand. What is it, babe?
Well, I learned about it many years ago. I started a corporate wellness business, and I gave the lecture 34 times in 17 different locations, and it talked about I used Ho'oponopono for the power of forgiveness. So yeah, it's a very simple process. You put an image in your mind who you want to forgive, and you just repeat a prayer. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Sometimes people reverse a couple of those, and I'm dyslexic, so I flip them. But I always say, I'm sorry that this came to me. Please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And you just say it over and over until this weight lifts off your body. But I remember there was a Honda store I went to. So I would circle back every 2 weeks. I would give a new lecture, and I went into this Honda store, and this girl came up and hugged me, and I'm like, I barely know her. She's like, I forgave my father after what he did to me. I feel 1,000 times better. Then it just, I kept going to different stores, and these same stories were going on. I was like, whoa. It was just mind boggling.
Or heart-boggling.
It's really interesting. There's a book called Zero Limits. I didn't even know you were going to talk about that, but the book Zero Limits, it's pretty cool. It talks about some of the origins and how this doctor actually used this in a psychological ward on all these different patients, but he wouldn't talk to them. They hired him as a psychologist. It was kind of a last-ditch effort. And he just went over the patient files, and he said he'd only come in like 2 days a week, and it was a state hospital in Hawaii. And he said, I'm not going to see the patients. And they had no other choice but to hire him. Nobody wanted to work there. So he turned this whole facility around and healed so many people.
Which is simply that prayer.
That prayer over the chart. He didn't talk to the patients.
He didn't talk to, okay. Thanks, Jack.
Yeah, did not talk to the patients.
I want to share with you how powerful that was from my grandma's visit. When we were just telling her, thank you for all of the amazing times, thank you for teaching us how to paint like Bob Ross. You guys remember Bob Ross with a big fro who was like, everybody needs a friend, and he would paint like another tree, and you're like, no, you're going to ruin the painting. But he actually just made it like a masterpiece.
I taught him a lot of stuff.
I didn't know that. So we need to get your hair growth going on so that you can have the fro again.
Yes.
And you guys tomorrow. Thank you, Paula. Oh my God. Who would not love Bob Ross? Tomorrow, actually, we'll talk a little. Well, Paula, maybe you should just cue it right now anyway. Tomorrow, Thursday, I'm going to be doing a webinar with 3 other powerful doctors to talk about non-toxic beauty and actually hair growth. So the Zoom link is right there, RimonLove.com. That's Thursday, September 26th. I can't see what time it is, Paula. Isn't it 8
p.m. Eastern?
8 p.m.
Yeah.
So you need to tune in for that because we're going to make you look like Bob Ross again. How much do you love me now?
We will do before and afters for this podcast.
You guys,
Before and afters
we're gonna be like,
of my head.
yeah, we're gonna be like, staying alive, and we're gonna bring back, the fro head.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll do it.
Okay, good. We'll see what happens, and we'll see what happens with his eyebrows too, because
Yeah.
I got a little tattoo on my eyebrows. And by the way, you guys, if you look at my face today, all I'm wearing is some mascara, a little bit of mascara, and a little bit of lipstick. And the rest of my face, there's no powder, there's no blush, there's no foundation, there's no eyeshadow. I'm naked, baby.
Look beautiful. You don't need that stuff.
And, well, thank you. And look, this is what Ramona is doing to my face. And also, you can see that I don't have as many wrinkles. I mean, I do that. Look, I don't have any more. But it's really working. It's incredible. It's Korean skincare. So that's a side note. But my grandma, even at 95, had incredible skin. I mean, I was just looking at her going, wow, because she ate real food. They ate real food back then. They ate, she taught me how to, use lard. She taught me how to cook. So my cousin and I went there, and we just told her, thank you for all the times, even for what she remembered. So I encourage you guys, anybody in your life that you know who is in this kind of a space, do not let them die alone. Do not witness them in their end times, as angry as they might be. Go there knowing that they still have that soul within them. They might have been hijacked. In the end, parasites take them down. Their immune system starts to go and they die of a bacterial overgrowth eventually. The bugs take them out and the bugs affect their mind and they kind of forget the good old times. But I'll tell you one moment. Speaking of the Ho'oponopono.
Ho'oponopono.
Ho'oponopono. Yeah. Let's just say Hopo. Hope. Let's just say Hopo. So my grandma, we were saying, we're so excited for you to meet Grandpa in heaven. She's like, I'm not going to heaven. I'm going to hell. And I'm like, God, I rebuke that. And I just kept rebuking it every time she said something negative like that. She's very programmed, Catholic, kept rebuking it. And I said, Diane, bring in Ho'oponopono. And I said, Grandma, for all the times that I was a youngster and I wasn't grateful, or you did all this work and you weren't acknowledged, or you loved us the best that you could, for all the things you taught us, for all the time that you donated to us, for the life that you gave us, I would not be here without you, Grandma. I literally would not be here without you. And I am you. And I said, because she kept saying, oh, I don't forgive any, I said, at the end, Grandma, it's time to let go. It's time to forgive. It's time to free yourself from grudgery and any attachments of anything that you thought that life should have been different. She said, oh, no. There are certain people I will not forgive. And I'm like, damn it, Grandma. She's 95. She's stubborn as hell. I think that's why she's still alive. She's like, nope. And then I said, all right, I'm bringing it. I said, Grandma, I love you. Thank you. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Please forgive me. And I said it over and over, probably 100 times in a row, and just held her hand. And then my cousin Sarah, she did the same thing. And then we both started crying. And then we asked my grandma to go be with her beloved, my grandpa who died 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. And we played the Reba McEntire song that you guys may know. It's called Just Like Them Horses. And yeah, thank you, Paula. There's a song that she wrote called Just Like Them Horses. And if you go to YouTube and listen to it, she basically starts the song by saying, how do you say goodbye to somebody who raised you, who loved you, who made you? How do you say goodbye?
And right now, with as many people who are dying suddenly, whether it was from the shot or old age or something else, I literally had a friend, a very good friend, who was my muscle testing chiropractor,
Mhm.
and he died of heartbreak last week because his wife died and his dad died. He wasn't jabbed. But how do you say goodbye? So we played that song for my grandma, just like them horses. And it basically just says when it's time to run. And it's about her saying goodbye to her father that didn't really give her a life that she felt loved by. And so we played that song for my grandma. We held her hand and she started to cry. She didn't really have her mind even, she's in dementia. She's accusing people of stealing her money. This is what happens to our elders. And a lot of people steal from them. They take advantage of them. They don't go visit them. They die alone. So after all of her hardening, after that face that you guys saw there of her looking like she was in pain and angry, she softened and she sobbed. After the Ho'oponopono prayers to her, it was right after that we held a picture of my grandpa and Jesus at the cross, rebuking all of her statements that she was going to hell. You can see the pain in her face. You can see the grudge. You can see the anger still there. My invitation to all of us is that we can let this go now. Because if something happened and you die, and if tomorrow never comes, just like Garth Brooks says, it's important to let each other know how much we love one another. That we try in every way and show you every day how much each other means to each other. Because if our time on earth is through and we can't wake to see another day, is the love I gave my friends and family enough to last? Have we forgiven from the past if tomorrow never comes? So, like Garth says, so tell that someone that you love just what you're thinking of if tomorrow never comes. We don't have time anymore for anger or fear or rage or jealousy or division or hatred or judgment or grudgery. We are sinning every day if we continue to do that. So that was my goodbye to her. There's been several other deaths, but that's what I wanted to share about my grandma. And then switching over to my back, I want to show you guys something because I have decided that after all of my attempts with stem cell and PRP and ozone and spinal decompression and muscle testing, adjustments weekly, I've spent easily over $100,000 on my back since I was 17. I got my MRI and I discovered that I have no more. I not only don't even have any disc space, I don't have a disc and my spine has fused together. So if you can see that, this is what a healthy disc looks like. And these are my L4, L5, and L5S1. You can see that there's basically nothing. I found out that there's not only no disc, there's scar tissue, and there are that's what remains. There's disc bulges, there's disc herniations, there's bone spurs, and my spine is already fusing itself together. And what it's doing is it's compressing on the nerve, and that nerve is sending signals to my brain so that I am in chronic fight or flight. It's like my brain is always going, ow! So, there's only so much you can do to get out of pain, but this is getting to the root. If you do, I wanted to share this with you guys. If you do artificial discs, which I asked about, I thought I would do that and avoid having metal in my body.
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know this, that artificial discs then have to be kind of sandwiched and held in place by titanium plates. So while we always encourage you guys to, like with oral procedures, to, instead of doing like a titanium rod, to try to do something like a zirconia rod, there are just some things that cannot be avoided. I'm going to share this journey as it unfolds. I may get my surgery down in Mexico for $17,000. I may get insurance here in America and work with some reputable surgeons, but I'm going to have my disc fused because I've tried everything since I was 17. So there is no judgment for any of you who are out there who do anything for your back.
Mm-hmm.
But when it gets to this point and you're younger, it's better to have it done early. Is there anything that you want to add to that? Because you work with a lot of patients who have a lot of these issues too.
Well, I mean, the chronic pain it's nonstop. It's debilitating.
Yeah.
Getting out of pain is really important. And I don't think the answer is taking, dangerous medications every day to get rid of the pain. And then those medications are still running around those pathways, like the COX-2 pathways that help regenerate it. And if you're constantly taking, all the different anti-inflammatory medications, there's not really a chance. I mean, there are things that you could do to help,
Yeah.
but this has been something you've been dealing with for so many years. At this point, it's something you're gonna have to do. Then you provide your body support before and after. You get ready for it. You prepare.
Yeah.
You strengthen your lower back as much as you can. You get in the best shape of your life. You work on all your detoxification pathways, and whatever med they used on you, we get it out immediately.
We bind it. Yeah. Yeah. And that's important. That's what we're going to end on, you guys, is that I plan on doing this procedure and then doing stem cell before and after. And if any of you opt to do surgery, we're going to talk about this next in the VIP group, because whether or not it's surgery or some minor or major, at this point, surgery comes with consequences. There's a lot of tears in the body. There's recovery. There's toxins that they use. There's medications. If you keep taking ibuprofen for your pain, you're rupturing other tendons.
And remember, when you're under anesthesia, you're open for spiritual warfare. I'm just letting you know.
Oh my God, such a good point.
We'll make sure we'll be sure to clear you before and after. And I'm always being attacked, like almost daily. So it's a constant clearing process.
Because you're working with patients, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
And the closer you are to God, the more attacks you'll get. And that's not me saying it. That's from a very wise person who's been doing this, and she's 16, almost 7 years old.
Wow.
And she's been in it her whole life.
I feel it too. Traveling the world, but like Paula says, the entities begin to lose their leash or supply. You guys, there is a connection between parasites and demons, and this is a daily work that we owe ourselves while we're in this matrix, and whatever this is. So the last thing I'll say, and I'm going to talk more about this in the VIP group, and I'll share everything in there. I went to get BioIdentical because New York doesn't do any of this stuff. I have to fly to Arizona to do it. But I went in to get BioIdentical Hormones, just to get my hormones checked. Not sure exactly what I'm going to do just yet, but I just found it very interesting. First of all, my luteinizing hormone and follicular stimulating hormone are high, which means that I'm officially in menopause after a year of no periods. And so I'm feeling totally different because my sex, stress, and sleep hormones are all flat. There's no harm in taking bioidenticals, but at this point, we have a lot of clinics that are prescribing bioidenticals, which I think the best ones are the ones you get at compound pharmacies, through specialists that are bioidentical specialists. But guess what? The list was bioidentical hormones, and then everything else after it was Botox, fillers, and all kinds of other unhealthy things. So you're going to start seeing a lot more pressure to do a lot of these really nasty things that are making people very sick. So that's my be forewarned. Just because you might see it as next to something healthy like bioidenticals does not mean that it's healthy for you. So I'm going to talk about this more in the VIP group. And then Dr. Jack, let's talk one more thing about the full moon coming up, the full moon. What we're going to go into the VIP group is more of the even deeper foundational personal protocols based on the parasites that we're getting. People in our VIP group and our patients are like, whoa, after 3 months, I'm finally starting to see them leave my body. This is why you don't just do one parasite cleanse. You know, we have to live this way. So here's the full moon schedule coming up, babe. Did you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, there's a new moon coming up on the 2nd, October 2nd. So that's another great time.
That's the eclipse too.
That's another great time to, beef up your parasite killers. But when you're doing that, you got to make sure that you're beefing up all your drainage and binding as well. And that's where people get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
They just start killing them a little bit too quickly.
Killing them without the binders.
And then they start getting, remember parasites hold all these toxins and, metals and all these things in them. So when they die, you got to make sure you're binding them and you're getting them out and you're pooping every day, like just some of the basics.
Yeah.
And then, the next full moon cycle, you guys should join us for it. So that's going to be was it the 14th?
Yeah, I think
so. October 14th. And just on a quick side note, what Dr. Diane was talking about is parasites are evil and demonic. There is October 17th. There is a really cool Audible book, and you could buy it as well. It's called the Ropeworm Bible.
Oh yeah, the one that we've been listening to, the audio.
I really enjoyed it. So I mean, if you want to do some, it's from a female pastor. Really, really smart lady, and I just listened to it on Audible. I think the book is, pretty expensive, but it's really, really good. Yeah, really cool to listen to.
Yeah, we listen to Parasite
check
audiobooks when we're driving on our love vacation getaways. But she actually talked about, I learned about the ropeworm when it was first becoming popularized by Alex Valinsky, and I actually interviewed him for my first podcast called Wellness Warrior Radio about 12 years ago, and learned a lot about what the ropeworm is. It's not like, it looks like a rope, but it's still being talked about. It's really a constellation of all of these poisons and pathogens that are all like wrapped up into one. And that is like Dr. Anna didn't talk about this, but like looks like it's, because she said it's not parasites, but there are a lot of these things that look like long cords that can attach like from your gut to your brain, and they could be 30 feet long. And this is not just in some people, this is very, very common. Parasites are the big problem. And you guys, I also do see a lot of you are like, oh, I just do the fembendazole and that makes me feel better. And I'm like, oh God, we can't.
I'm not gonna get into that.
Yeah. We will in the VIP group. Last thing is, so we'd love for you guys to join us. Get in the VIP group. You'll get the full moon parasite cleanse at a discount. It's just $1 to join us, and it's less than $100 a month to be in our VIP group and have the support of both of us. It's super invaluable. You can't afford not to have it. So last thing, and then we're going to go in the VIP group, is somebody did request these eye drops. I was letting people use it on my trip. This, we'll talk a little bit more about the VIP group. Again, we talked about it extensively last week. This is highly imperative because you also get parasites up in your ear, nose, and throat cavity. You put in a dropper like this, fill it up about 3/4 of the way with distilled water. We have these things in our shop on DianeKaiser.com. This is carboxy. You just take a pinch of this. This is a binder. It has humic, fulvic, and citric acid that binds to the hydrogel, the graphene oxide. It is the binder that, like Dr. Jack was saying, if you're going to do a parasite cleanse, you got to have a binder. That's our strongest one. And then you take a couple drops, maybe 3 drops of the para-3, and you put it all together in this, and you use those eye drops daily. That's going to do a lot of clearing. People are like, I cannot believe how clear my eyes feel. And then just one more last thing, as a reminder, many of you have been asking, what is that nicotine thing again that you're talking about, that, instead of doing the patches, here it is. This is on my shop as well, DianeKaiser.com/shop, where you find all of this. This is Canatine, and it's got CBD, hemp, nicotine, methylene blue, as well as many, many other things that are adaptogens and nootropics. So those are 2 really powerful hacks that you guys can do to fight this stuff that you might be, feeling, parasites in the brain, nanotechnology, the Trypanosoma cruzi that they put in the shots that are the microscopic protozoa.
Parasites, yeah.
Yeah, parasites. So we got a lot more to cover, you guys. We're going to go in the VIP group now and share even more. But thank you for being here today. Thank you for letting me share my story and being vulnerable. I really, really hope that it helps you. We got to get over our pride. We got to get over our fears. We really have to open up the discussion about this stuff so that we can truly be stewards of God and on purpose and in passion in our hearts. Any final words for you, baby?
God bless. God bless everybody. Stay strong.
Yeah. Stay strong and be real. Be real with each other. Be gentle with each other. We'll see you in the VIP group, you guys. DianeCage.com/VIP. We'll see you on the other side. And if there's any other topics that you want us to cover in the future, just drop us a line and comment below on the video, and also share this video with everybody that you know, because these are the conversations that we need to all be having to be our own best doctor and to really serve God and live with God and nature. Bye for now.
Thanks for tuning in to today's show. If this episode really tugged at your soul and you're ready to have your personal breakthrough, we would love to have a heart-to-heart with you to get you crystal clear on 3 things. What do you want? What's standing in your way? And how do we get you to your soul goal in the fastest time possible? Visit my site, DianeKaiser.com/call to schedule your free 1-hour connection session with one of our warriors to map out exactly how you want to look, feel, and live. We've helped thousands of warriors just like you all around the world free themselves from the symptoms and suffering they never thought possible. And you just might be our next success story. Talk soon.